Wow, these couples are not lasting at all. Hey y'all, it's your captain for all things creative coming back at you with Love is Blind, Season 5. This time, Episode 6 Thoughts and Takeaways. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. And if you're returning, thank you so much for rocking with us. Let's get into the episode. So, we start off with Izzy and Stacy in the bed, and next we see Taylor and JP, and they have a camera, but Taylor's refusing to initiate convo, and it's basically trying to force JP to speak. She's like, "I'm not saying I talk, please." Next, you have Milton and Lydia. I almost called them Lydia. I already gave him a ship name. Milton and Lydia playing in the room, and they're discussing couple matching with their clothes, being the same color. I believe she wanted them to be black. And this is something I actually love doing with my husband and even my son. So, like, I will buy the matching Christmas pajamas for the whole family, matching Easter outfits, all of that. Because for me, clothing and fashion, it's a big way that I express, my feelings and my mood. So, especially like showing that I love my people, I like to match. And my son has no choice for now to oblige until he turned 18. But for my husband, he definitely plays along and dresses up with me. And I love that. I know it's him expressing his love by obliging me in those moments because he doesn't always agree, but most of the time he does agree. And it's fun for me, and I get joy on those days. So you got to figure out, what's your partner's love language? What are ways you can oblige their wishes when you can, show that you care, and just try to meet them where they are. So next we have JP and Taylor again, and they have an awkward talk about the real world, if they're going to give up or not. And they kind of agree to give their relationship a little more time, but the writing is on the wall with this couple. Next, you see Izzy and Stacy playing miniature golf. They talk about their compatibility and chemistry, and they actually both use the L word. I was very surprised because Stacy in the pods was acting very hesitant about, being emotionally available. But I guess them being like glue, like Sean Paul said, just stuck together all the time, in the bed all the time, in each other's face all the time on this honeymoon, and now they in love. So Stacy also said that she had made him a drink, which is, I guess an act of service in a way. That's another love language. So maybe that's her love language instead of, being that verbal and emotional. But she did say that she loved him and also did that, act of service for him. So that's nice. Next, um, oh my gosh, not them yet, but basically Lydia and Milton eat dinner. That's them on the bottom. They nerd out and joke together. And they talk about who's bossier. And when they get to the room, there's rose petals on the bed. And I wonder if one of them put it there for each other. The staff at the resort did that, but it was very cute. They go to bed together. And then you see Izzy and Stacy also glued together. They go to bed, but then JP and Taylor being awkward in the bed. And this is just where things just go really left. And again, I get the vibe that JP he's giving me Ken in the Barbie movie, and Taylor is not feeling him because basically JP finally gets to talking, and he kind of is blaming Taylor for things being hard, and is basically saying that she's got in her mind that they're awkward and she's being hard headed about that, not moving past it. And it's surprising that, when he finally opens his mouth, it's to argue and even get a little loud with Taylor. And then she even comments that this argument's the first time he said much of anything to her the whole honeymoon. And then he gets to calling her fake and saying that maybe if she had presented this no makeup version of herself in the beginning, he would have had an easier time connected with her, which left me with questions. Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about like her overall facade of maintaining pleasantries while brushing her feelings under the rug in terms of, like being like surface level nice, but holding back, so being fake in that way. That's what I was thinking at first. Or if he really was literally saying he was bothered by her makeup, but then he literally was talking about like how much makeup she had caked on, so much to the point that it got on his jacket, and he was criticizing her fake lashes. And it was just a weird thing to harp on, but I guess, you know, that's what he was saying was the reason for the wall that he had up. And I know in the past, people on the Love is Blind show do often talk about how the version of someone that they had in their head when they were in the pods and they couldn't see them doesn't always align with who they meet with in real life. So for pretty much all the couples, they talk about the adjustment to recalibrate the voice of the person with the real life version of the person because they had imagined who the person was in their head somewhat. And so that is not new, but JP is saying something way different. It seems like he did have a positive image of her and a positive from her voice, but then in person, he's just blaming her for the problems of the relationship, even his own lack of communication. And he's more comfortable fighting with her than just asking her questions and just doing the bare getting to know me stuff and just telling her about himself. So, again, I don't know either of them. Obviously, we're seeing what production wants us to see also, but he did say, he had those issues with his mom, and I feel like they're flaring up. And with the no makeup thing and the fake lashes thing, he reminds me of a lot of those manosphere podcast guys who talk about how makeup is witchcraft and they criticize women for makeup. But then, all the women that they date and sleep with still have makeup, So him blaming the makeup for him not being able to connect with her is just very much a cop out, in my opinion. And he tells her, that he prefers her without makeup, and actually outright tells her to stop wearing makeup, which definitely, was given just controlling and that kind of manosphere, man, I don't appreciate all the time. And he says that, she's not a real person with all that makeup as well. So they fight back and forth about that for a little bit because she says she's still gonna wear her makeup and she's gonna want to, you know, look her best for him, and that's why she did wear the makeup. But it just got so bogus that Taylor just decides to end the conversation, separate for the night, and not spend the night. And I think that's always a good thing. Like if you know things aren't going anywhere, sometimes people just need their space, And if a situation is wearing you out, stressing you out, it's good to regroup. And so she packs up her stuff, and she kind of gives like that pre-breakup soothing speech to JP, by saying nice things while literally headed out the door. She's like, JP, you're a nice person, and basically saying, they're both still good people, but at this point, they're just not comfortable being in the same room. So she promises though that she's gonna come back in the morning, but I really think them two are really done at this point, and it's very important for JP to figure out why he's more comfortable arguing and fighting with a woman versus, just like being vulnerable and talking to her and gently, giving her the chance to open up to him and him also gently opening up to her. It's very, very weird, and there's a big disconnect. Like it's very much given like Ken and Barbie in the Barbie movie. Like She's not with it. He's trying to make her stay for reasons unbeknownst to everyone because he's not showing, why they're compatible or who he is or that he even cares about who she is. So I agree with Taylor for leaving. And this is actually where I start to get the Love is Blind Japan feels as well. Because if you watch Love is Blind Japan, those women did not play with those men. I think there was only one marriage. And usually in the American version of Love is Blind, people usually string each other along much longer. So I was proud of Taylor and even earlier Aaliyah and Chris for choosing themselves when they know they needed to. And my folks always told me when I was growing up, if Christmas is good, you're gonna know from Christmas Eve. Meaning, there's gonna be a lot of signs when something's not right. And when you see the writing on the wall, you gotta act accordingly. And in this case, that means getting out of a bad situation. So the couples get their phones back, the ones who, make it out the honeymoon. Stacy calls her people and reveals she's engaged, and they're happy on the phone at least. Then Lydia and Milton then call, their people, share their happy news. And people move in and they're saying there's 21 days till the marriage. So basically Lydia and Milton are in the kitchen and Lydia, says it's nice to live with Milton. That's her on top, and she treats him like a cat, chasing him off the counter and stuff like that, saying that they're chairs. But then he gets a text that he has to start working nights, so they worry that they're not going to have enough quality time together. But Milton reassures Lydia that her only worry should be just like them just spending the time that they have, because he's only going to work 4 days in a row at most, so they just need to just use the time well, basically. Next, you see Izzy and Stacy in bed once again. Stacy wonders if Izzy is going to have doubts in the future and asks about, the doubts of his mother. And Izzy explains that he's not worried about none of that since his mom is just worried about him based on his past and just knowing him. And then they see each other's apartment. Lydia sees Milton's apartment and acknowledges and recognizes that he's a 24-year-old with a 24-year-old looking bachelor pad since there's a stack of Playboy magazines. There's $1 bills in the corner that he admits is for when he goes to the strip club. She also finds his microscope and basically gets banned from touching it and anything else as he says it's old and he's scared it's going to break. Then we meet Milton's friend and they hang out all together and it's cute because the friend confirms that Milton is a good guy. He's serious about Lydia, that he has his life together. He's very mature except for the fact he still plays Pokemon and all that stuff. Next, Stacy shows Izzy her house and he's wide-eyed and impressed because she has a very nice, expensive house. He then talks about moving TVs and stuff into her house, so I don't think he has plans to like change her life or upgrade it, but instead settle into what she's got going on and moving in with her. And it makes me wonder if what Johnny was saying about Izzy having bad credit was true, but really, Stacy's life is so nice that whether his credit was good or bad, it's probably a good choice to stay in that nice house for both of them. And then they start talking about finances. And Izzy says he wants everything to be 50-50. But Stacy insists that Izzy needs to pay for dinner as the man. And she basically tells him she likes nice things. She don't want a vacation on the cheap. So I don't know whether Johnny was lying or not about the credit. They don't seem to be on the same level financially. And last but not least, the big scene, Aaliyah and Uche meets. And Aaliyah says she still wants to be with him and marry him for the episode cuts out. So this is just drama. Do I think Aaliyah should have met Uche? Absolutely not. But I'm sure they want closure face to face. Closure can be important, but in this case where it's like question of stalking involved and he's already been speaking to her very rough and negatively, I don't know if it's a good idea. So let's go on to the next episode. Please comment with your thoughts. Do you think it's a good idea that Aaliyah and Uche met up again? Do you like the couples that are left? No matter what, you are the master of your fate and you're the captain of your soul. And take care until the next video. Bye.